Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Daytime. Angela Dacey is here. She is our self-discovery expert, and she made it into the show.
I made it.
And were you fearful? Today's topic is fear.
Yes,
because there
reason.
has been a lot of fear for the last 24 hours about this snowstorm.
Yeah, too bad it's all fear and not excitement. I was like
For
you.
real.
I was like, I couldn't wait to wake up and
So
see
excited.
snow and think, yay, let's have like a no school day and go tobogganing and have fun. And,
Well, there's no school today, Ange. There's no school
well,
for most
not
people.
Toronto, but yeah, I'm York Region, and there's school in York Region.
Yeah, there is.
I sent my boy off.
Did you?
Yeah, he
Didn't
had to
you
go
want
to
to
school.
keep him and just...
Well, yeah.
Were
He'll
you
probably
worried?
have more fun. He'll probably watch movies or something, you know?
You know what? They will.
Yeah.
Because
it's a
the
mail-in.
buses were probably
The
canceled.
buses were canceled, so...
See, that means no students.
The
at
interesting
school.
thing, they canceled the buses yesterday before they even knew how the snow would be this morning. They knew yesterday
Fear.
afternoon, out of fear. So that's why I thought this would be a great topic.
Perfect.
Because, oh, I mean, and you were saying it, like we do it to ourselves.
So let me ask you, okay? Y2K, 2012, and the worst snowstorm of all time. I mean, are these just
Snowmageddon.
man-made ideas that go into this weird place? I mean, what is going
Yeah,
on?
I think so. I think it's media. I mean, no offense to the media, I love them. But I really do think we spend so much time wrapped up in believing every single thing that's dramatized. So we get into this, oh, it's the worst snowstorm of the year. We have to go buy. The grocery stores were packed,
Yeah.
for goodness sakes. I had to go last
Really?
night. Yes. So I'm thinking
Everybody's
is
getting rations.
It's like, when we had the ice storm, how many years ago was that? Okay, and that, I got to admit, that was pretty bad, and we needed to kind of be prepared for that, and no, you shouldn't have driven in all that ice.
Yeah.
But today coming in, it was fine. We live in Canada, and I sometimes think that we blow things out of proportion.
Yeah.
Totally.
Is it a case of, because so often we create these fears inside of our mind. I mean, beyond the snowstorm, we're talking about personal fears, personal phobias. And it's sort of like today, it's never as bad as we sort of make it up to ourselves.
Definitely, and you can see that when people confront their fears, and then once they do, they're like, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of myself. I can't believe I overcame that, or I climbed the ladder, I skydived, or whatever it may be. And it's really in our mental self to it's like a story we create, and we keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and we make it worse and worse and worse.
For sure.
Where sometimes we just need to take the plunge and find that passion and do it and overcome our fears.
So that can happen in many different, you can have fear at work, you can have fear in your personal life.
Oh, for sure.
Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And when it comes to this time of year, I find that January, everybody's so excited for January, and then once that's gone, you have fear again with resolutions, or are you not succeeding? Do you find that that's sort of a time where things start to come up again?
Yeah, I think we are just conditioned to believe the negative, and we are in a society that focuses on negative more than positive, which is sad to say, but I see it a whole lot. I see it in our school systems, and I see it in our relationships, and I see it just day-to-day living. So it's something where fear stops. Fear paralyzes. You have to think, like, if you're scared, you're like this. I'm not moving. But, the opposite is about passion and action and moving forward. So it's about how much do you want to be stuck in one spot? And do you have the ability to overcome your fears and take that next step?
Yeah. Is it the fear, and I think this is, from my own personal case, people I've dealt with, it's the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of, I know where I am right now. I'm not happy. Yeah. But it could be worse than what it is. Right? You don't know.
Yeah, it's true. It's like, oh no, but do you really know? Do you really know what's going to happen a minute from now? Like, what if this whole place gets bombed a minute from now? Okay, so we're all going to die and I'll see you in heaven. I mean, but in a sense, we have no idea what the next minute, 5 minutes, hour, week, month, year holds. We really don't.
It's prevalent in careers and relationships.
Yeah.
I hate my job, but at least I make a paycheck that doesn't pay me enough. I hate my partner, but at least I know to have to dinner by myself.
You give the at least.
Yeah.
At least, yeah. So again, are you really living to your true passions? Are you really overcoming your fears? I mean, we're so fear of being lonely, we'll stay in a relationship where we're unhappy. We're so fearful of not making enough money that we'll stay in a job where we're unhappy. We forget that there's abundance out there in so many ways, shapes, and forms if we just overcome our fear.
And ask for it. Maybe.
Ask for it, and just, just try. One step is all you need to do. I came to Daytime today.
Yes.
It's amazing.
We're glad you did. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, more from Angela right after the break.
Toodaloo, everybody. Welcome back to Daytime. Do you like that? And Dacey is still here. She is our self-discovery expert.
Weirdly passionate.
Well, it is February.
Weirdly passionate.
Why do I feel like I'm being teamed up on and somewhat fearful of what might come out of your mouth next? Let's talk about a little more about fear, because Jack's touched on it, I touched on it, at least.
Yeah.
And at least is sort of like the but. It sort of lets us justify. What are some steps people can take to sort of overcome these fear? I mean, small steps are great, but is there something else more tangible they can sort of do? Yeah,
you know, that's a very good question. I think it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. Definitely have yourself an accountability partner. Have somebody that will push you. Because if I, for example, am scared to death to, I don't know, I'm going to even say, you know, change careers. Then if I have a friend that's really big and supporting me, or say I have a coach that can help me, then I'm going to feel like I can take the steps forward. You need a cheerleading team, right?
It's so true.
You do. And you need someone who goes, come on, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Get moving. Try it. Do this. If you don't have the cheerleading team behind you, it's hard. You almost need that person to push you.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'd recommend that. And then small steps can always be taken. I mean, it depends on what it is. Small steps can. It's the big steps that are actually a little tougher. But I would say get yourself a cheerleading team, or at least somebody who can support you and be your accountability partner.
And you have to weigh the, you know, if you say, oh, well, I'm unhappy in my job, but I get this much vacation time. Well, what's more important to you? That you're totally unhappy for the whole year, or that
you live for 2 weeks of your life?
It's priorities.
So think about that too. When it comes to the school system, also, you've noticed a change between, you know, many different schools when it comes to fear. Can you explain that?
You know, I found that really interesting. A school that my son went to before, you know, I found it really difficult because everything was, you know, be aware of strangers. And I've been completely the opposite, trying to get my kids to realize you don't have to be scared of strangers, because really they're just people who aren't your friends yet. Strangers aren't scary, because what's going to happen if he's tobogganing and he breaks his leg, and then someone comes up to help him and he's going to be, I can't talk to you. So I thought, again, it's common sense and giving them a good head on their shoulders. So I found, for example, a school like that and a lot of schools focus on like bullying. Don't bully, do this if you're bullied. Then, for example, there's a different school, another one that actually now both my kids go to, and I have to admit, I am so thrilled because it's all proactive. It's about pro-respect. They have a good news assembly. They support kids and give them awards, if they, you know, Optimum Awards, and it's just incredible. And I'm just noticing the difference between giving your child a sense of independence and maturity and a common sense of head on their shoulders, instead of fear. Because so many kids are scared. I say hi to a little kid in the store, and you can see him do this, and then the mom will say, oh, I know, we don't talk to strangers. And I think, holy smokes, what are we saying to these kids?
It's a switch of focus. I'm curious, because sometimes in life, it's not our fears we have to deal with, it's other people's fears. For example, you're in a relationship and all of a sudden you start making changes, and then your partner becomes fearful. That they, you know, you might leave them, you might get better, blah, 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 blah. Is there a way to sort of approach other people's fears too and sort of have that conversation with them?
Do you need some help with this, Jeff?
No, I'm far from that.
I'm just teasing. You know, bringing them to the surface and becoming very aware of the fears is half the battle, right? Once you understand, and when you can really work through it. A lot of the times in relationships, you might not know that the fear of being abandoned is the biggest fear. But you're causing trouble and there's dysfunction in the relationship due to it. So you have to come down to what is the greatest fear and why is it there? I mean, you may find in a relationship that if your partner's parents split up when they were little, or maybe one of the parents passed away, they're going to have a fear of being abandoned. And so then, and it can go much deeper than just the surface stuff. So it's about taking a look at where does the real fear come from. I want to just back up for one sec, because here's a good example with the children. You know, when the fear of your kid being taken by the man in the white van, okay, I did some research and found out that 65,000 kids a year are abducted in North America. 3 are from strangers. So that means we actually should be more aware and give our kids more sense to know the signs from someone they know that may cause problems than someone we don't. But somehow we've made it out that it's the people you don't know that you need to fear the most.
Candy fear.
And that's not exactly, and it's non-existent. So we need to really put ourselves in check to say, why are we really fearful, and how do we get rid of that negativity?
More good than bad out there.
Doesn't it lift something off your shoulders when you aren't living with fear too?
Oh, incredibly.
Man, we're out of time, Angela, but thank you so much. Visit the website, angeladacey.com, for more information, and we'll be right back with more on the show.